Can't suck on my ear. You boo-booed it yesterday. My cat sucks on my ear, and yesterday her tooth, like her canine, punctured it. It hurt and it was bleeding. So we need to take a break, but we need to take a break from suckling on the ear. If you could switch up the ears, that would really help, but you always go for the same one. We're creatures of habit, huh? Hmm. You purring. I'm gonna say portal, probably because that word has been being used around me lately. So it's in the mind. I don't even know if that word works. It feels more like maybe layer, like the next layer, the layer now, or something that was glimpsed. Um, Listening to Roger Castillo, uh, maybe a year ago, a guided exercise, I guess you call it. Maybe he called it a meditation with the eyes closed, recognizing that I don't know what the next word is because it wouldn't exactly be nothing. It's just like far less is seen with the eyes closed. Um, it was recognized that that was everywhere and nowhere. Um, so there was a learned association with the sensation in the eye and around the eye area that appeared to connect what was seen with that sense area, which made it feel like what was being seen was there in front up high. And there was noticing that and then feeling the sensation that was learned to be associated with feet instead while seeing. And it was then recognized that the the scene was just the scene in that it was everywhere and nowhere. And it is obviously like less someone-ish. And now, so that was like felt like a glimpse. Now, um, I guess here would be where the word portal might apply. So that would be like a visual portal almost. Which isn't, that too is like it's true and false separation, but it's fine. Um, because the portal now is, I guess, what other people call consciousness, which seen isn't separate from, so that's why it's false distinction, but also is a distinction. Um, is stable, I guess. It's not a glimpse, which doesn't mean that um it's primary, the primary focus all the time. Um, it's stable. Uh, it seems, I'm gonna say it and then see if it is, is right now, I guess, um, is similar in that it's everywhere and nowhere. Almost like the everywhere makes it nowhere. The somewhere and nowhere fall away when the somewhere is everywhere. Mm. It's kind of like how wanting falls away when everything is wanted. It's very tender. The beautiful woman whose online TRE group I go to. It was a very small group yesterday, and she checked how was the hour and a half time slot, given that the bodies were kind of sound like we're stopping tremoring earlier. She had like allowed that time in case we wanted to talk about our experience after, and that doesn't happen much, especially in the smaller group. There wasn't much to say. And this body had stopped tremoring maybe the quickest it ever had in the group. Like it tremored for the least amount of time, but the tremoring was it was the most sensual and ecstatic and pleasurable it had ever been. And then the body just curled up so comfy. And then the empty everywhere, nowhere of consciousness was just, there was just basking, just ecstatic basking. Ecstatic makes it sound like elevated or something. It's not like that. But basking for over a half hour, I think. And and periodic total disappearing. Only recognized when there was like something that seemed to come back, but then there was still basking. And so yeah, she was so tender, checking like, is this amount of time still work for people? And this was able to say that the silence is like the compliment, but it doesn't give feedback. So it's so reasonable and dear that she would check, that she would ask for her own sake, because how could she know? And she was noticing like self-doubt or insecurities come up in the not knowing. Um, but it felt so good to be able to be very clear and honest that the silence was not a criticism. It was wonderful. And the other couple people agreed that the time was a good amount of time, nice amount of time. Of course, really does feel the best when this is or can be really honest, direct, and straightforward. And also when it can be silent, when that is the most honest, natural movement. And the honestest, honesty is always right now. So even more pleasant than relaying a story, which is what was arising right now, but is the fullness, the not having to focus on the thoughts, not having to prioritize experience or focus on a facet of being. The thought could arise that is the content is a portion of story and time. That is kind of effortless. Fleshing it out in order to say it and add to it is a subtle expenditure of energy. I don't know if expenditure, I don't know. No, that doesn't feel true that energy is expended. It doesn't feel that way. It feels, well, yeah, that's interesting. It's both is and isn't. It's almost like a change in energy. Also, there can be seems uh yeah, it's a focusing, it's a tightening or the word, and it's happening while the word is being looked for. The looking for the word is the what the word means. Like marshaling of energy, which just feels like that. It's been very fun to for like asking or looking to happen in the visual field of like where is that happening. There's so much less personal, like a sense of ownership or worry or pressure or whatever to answer or to like it's like a these these lines of inquiry, it's almost like a muscle can grow or something or get stronger or something. Like it's not, it doesn't matter how green or advanced the quote unquote practice is. So it's enjoyable and then it's enjoyable again. That it's fine to clarify to its own depth at its own speed. So right now with the, the word speed having happened, it, came with it like some feeling of inaccuracy. And then that like seems to affect the, uh, what, is noticeable in asking in the visual field, where is that happening? It's more, it's not, or it can't be, or like that would take, that would require time, constancy. And it sounds intellectual. It's just a description after the fact. It's not how it was experienced intellectually. It is how it's experienced in the saying it intellectually. Hearing, disappearing, appearing, disappearing are like the same. Hmm.